Okay. So that's where we're at with rate cuts. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. This is what had me cautiously bullish again since last time we met. Okay. So last time we met was on Thursday, which would have been right here, this candle right here. Okay. So on Thursday, we opened up with this daily candle right here. This is where we opened at 82,600, and we nuked immediately off of this open and then closed at 79,000. Okay. So why I had flipped bearish temporarily is this trend line right here. Okay, let's put it on the weekly. Oops. This logarithmic trend line, bull market trend. Okay. So the start of the bull market for Bitcoin was right here in September of 2023. Okay. So we broke out of this bear market reaccumulation range, which was right here. Okay. And then we started this bull market uptrend. Okay. This uptrend has been perfectly respected this entire bull market. So we get this massive nuke on August 5th. Look at where it drops down to. Perfect tap. Second one, perfect tap. We rip up higher. Okay, we come back down. And so now we retest this trend line. So tapped it, got sucked back up. Boom. Here's where we lost it. Okay, on the daily. So we're respecting this bull market trend, and this is where I flipped bearish for the moment. We get this clear loss of this trend line, and you see as soon as we definitively lost this bull market trend, you get this big red candle, definitive close down below. You get this nuke down here on this day, 74,000. Okay, and we're starting to hover below this trend line, right? So down here is where you had to be cautious, because when you lose this bull market trend, that's a loss of market structure. So you come down here, you come back up to retest this trend line. Typically, from a probability standpoint, when you lose your support and you come back up and you do a bearish underside retest, right? So you do a bearish underside retest of this trend line. You see we rejected off of it again, right? Typically, you would see something like this. And you roll over and we go into a bear market, right? Okay. Typically, that's what you would see. But they saved it. They saved it. Just look what they did here. Whoops. So we actually come up, we do a bearish underside retest. We did reject, but we created a higher low. And then over the weekend, we drifted back up above the bull market trend line. So we closed above. So we broke back through on this candle right here. Okay. On Saturday. We got our perfect retest. Look at this. Right. So we close above it. We retest it on Saturday. Pump back up. Retest it on Sunday. Perfectly. Look. Retest on Sunday. Perfectly. Come back up. And then here we are today. So it looks like we pretty much reclaimed that bull market trend. Okay. On top of that, I had drawn this other downtrend from the top here in January 20th. So this is the inauguration pump from Pumpino. Okay. So this is the Pico top on Bitcoin. We created this downtrend, clearly being respected, right? So tap, reject hard, pump, reject hard, come back into it here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Reject. Boom. Reject. And then we lost it, right? But look here. At the same intersection, incredible how this lined up. At the intersection of the bull market logarithmic trend line and this local downtrend from the top, they intersect here. Look at where we crossed back over. We reclaimed and broke the downtrend, and we reclaimed the bull market uptrend. To me, that's locally, at the very least, locally bullish, unless we just drift down below again and then die. But to me, that's bullish because you broke the downtrend, so that's a flip of market structure, and you reclaimed the bull market trend line. So this is where I'm looking for something like this. So I told you the 3 scenarios, right? So here's I'm playing this. Here's the 3 scenarios. Scenario 1, we lose these lows straight down into the previous 8-month reaccumulation range, which would be down in here. So you're coming back down into this territory, 50, 60K. Okay, coming all the way back down there. That's scenario 1 if we lose this trend. Okay. Locally, I'm bullish though, and I would expect this. So here's scenario 2 where I was talking about a potential rollover. So you're going to get this rip. What I'm betting on now is you're going to get this rip at the very least up to about like 91, 92K, right? Attempt to reclaim the macro range on Bitcoin. Attempt this reclaim. If you reject here, you're probably rolling over. And that was your complacency shoulder. Okay. So this was your top. This is your shoulder. Okay. That's scenario number 2. Here's number 3. And the one that we would love to see. Okay. And if we run it back turbo, it's going to look like this. Now we could do something like this. Reject maybe the first time. Come back down onto the bull market trend line. Pump back up into the macro range. And then you're at the very least, if you reclaim a range, you expect at the very least to go to range highs. So at the very least, I would expect Bitcoin to go up to 108,000. But if that happens, equities are likely trading at all-time highs again, or at least about to break through. And I would expect that next move up higher. Okay, so those are your 3 scenarios that I'm looking for. Right now, locally bullish at the very least to this bottom, this bearish underside retest of the macro range up top. If we reclaim this range, then I expect at least range highs. So that's our path back to all-time highs on Bitcoin. Okay? Questions? Put it in the chat. That's what we're looking at. Pretty simple. Okay? My invalidations for being bullish are going to be you lose this trend line again. If you lose this bull market trend line, I turn bearish again. And if you reject off of this range, come back down here and then lose it over here, bearish again.